Hello and welcome to Flippin' Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 71, released June 1962. Our price, 25 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, please let me remind you, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. That is the best way that you can support this channel and help it to continue to grow. So please, pretty please with sugar on top, consider doing this. Consider sharing it with somebody that you think would like it. Maybe a friend, maybe an enemy. Anyway, if you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. Link is down in the description. You get a 6 set of stickers. You could get a set of buttons. You could also get a pretty awesome Alfred E. Neuman stencil, great for defacing both public and private property. You could also support me on YouTube. I think the link is also down in the description. You can become a channel member. You get emojis for live chats, for live streams, and then also early releases of all of my videos. So with that, these are the people I get to thank for their support today. Me Too Big, Hutch, Ben Forsgren, Joey Jesso, Reflection of Perfection, Tom Richmond, David Strickler, Megan McNerney, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril. Thank you guys so much for your support. I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, let's get back here to this issue number 71. This is kind of an odd one because I thought for sure I had done this. I was like so confident that I had already done this issue, but I was wrong. This is one of my favorite covers. I think it's great. It's just like visually fun to look at, and it's cool the way they've inverted the shooting target. I do have an issue of this that I got that somebody sent a couple rounds through. It looks like a 22 that they shot it with. Anyway, who's in charge? I guess Norman Mingo is responsible for this. But I wonder if they just give it to him because it's like, that's his painting of Alfred E. Neuman. I mean, it seems like this is not. Anyway, you don't understand that's like thrown again by editors. Here we have, instead of Travelers, Travailers Insurance Company. And look at that. What happened to the coverage? That big umbrella, which the Travailers Insurance Company uses as a symbol of adequate insurance protection. In the picture above, we see a couple that had the foresight to buy adequate insurance protection many years ago. They felt secure under that big umbrella, the dotted lines. But when they retired, they were surprised. The big umbrella turned out to be very small. That's because no one has yet figured out how to sanforize insurance umbrellas against the ravages of inflation. Sanforize. Is that like some type of anti-shrinking thing? Here we have the mad quote, or the Alfred E. Neuman, the wit and wisdom. You'll never get rid of a bad temper by losing it. That's kind of that's clever. These all often do make sense. So that's good. Oh, and here it is. This was the beginning of the end, all right? When in 1962, the beginning of the end, the photos of children with Mad magazines. It just got worse from that point forward. Yeah. Now, one of the letters that I enjoyed in this, I didn't check if any of these are Minnesota babies. We have Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo, North Dakota is pretty close. It's right on the border there. Mad Writer makes good. Astute Mad readers may note the absence of Larry Siegel's byline in this issue. We are proud and sad to announce that, as a result of his hilarious work for us, Larry was recently summoned to the West Coast to write The Bob Newhart Show. But, so you won't feel cheated, here's a card we received from him the other day. Hollywood Plaza, California. Hollywood Plaza Hotel, Hollywood, California. Al, baby, don't believe what they tell you about this town changing a guy. It's not true, sweetheart. I'm the same as always, baby. caught your latest issue. Loved it. Loved it. It's you, sweetie. Regards to the gang. And Al, baby, I mean this with all sincerity. No matter what happens, nothing will change our relationship. Sincerely, Mr. Siegel. I love that. I thought that was a very funny fake letter to post. Here we have Alfred's Poor Almanac. This is something fun that they did. The Poor Farmers. Wait, is it the Poor Farmers Almanac? There's some poor thing in that title. Anyway, April. Let's look at 420, bro. 420. Inventor of Roto-Rooter drowns during test run in Paris sewer, 1937. How about this one, April 1st? April Fool's Day. Also, Alfred E. Neuman's birthday. Did you know that? Did you know that it's Alfred E. Neuman's birthday? How about a random one? April 23rd. Otis Smurd, first man to fight his way into women's and children's only lifeboat on SS Titanic, 1913. Good for him. How about May? Cinco de Mayo. Chinese Boy Scout rubs two pieces of wood together, doesn't start fire, but invents chopsticks. 679. Here we have the Mad investigates the sordid business of gambling. Sordid business, gambling. This is written by Al Jaffee, and the artist, none other than Wally Wood. One of my favorite things about this time period is looking at what Wally Wood has done. So here we have the characterization by movies and television have made it easy for an ordinary person to spot a typical gambler. Using this knowledge, try to pick out the rotten, no-good gambler among those below. Turn page over to check answer. So which one is the gambler? I think this guy right here. Then look at, they have like this whole upside down text. Nurse Lotteries is one of the most successful sellers of Irish sweepstakes tickets in the USA. Most people are reluctant to consider this gambling because all the proceeds go to Irish hospitals. But we consider it gambling mainly because you can never be sure that your money is sent back to Ireland or the ticket you bought isn't counterfeit. Sam the Dip Grafter is a top-notch promoter of those gambling bazaar nights run by charitable organizations. Although technically this is still gambling, which is illegal in most states, Sam gets away with it because when it's for charity, the police sort of close one eye and look the other way, of course. The main charity usually turns out to be Sam. Here we have this. Dr. Sidney A. Kindlyfellow has been conducting a one-man anti-gambling crusade for most of his life. Even with his wife and children working, Dr. Kindlyfellow is thousands of dollars in debt as a result of all the expenses that have piled up over the years while he was fighting gambling. So don't let this looks deceive you. This nut is the only non-gambler. There you go. Don't you feel bad for making assumptions based on appearance. Here we have the anatomy of a gambler. This illustration is so cool. I absolutely love it. Look at that. Desire to get something for nothing. Desire to get what belongs to others. Desire to avoid working. Desire to be like glamorous TV star Maverick. Sharp eye for finding bookies and spotting cops. Deaf ear to starving families pleading. Sensitive nose for smelling a sure thing. And a long neck, always sticking it out. From always sticking it out. And then look at, you have like, I guess in his veins, all the suits of cards and things from, what is that, one-armed bandits, dice and lottery tickets and all sorts of stuff. Drooped shoulders from carrying burden of heavy losses. Ooh, ice cubes in his heart, butterflies in his stomach, extended fingers for putting the touch on friends. Perennially empty pockets, itchy fingers for dipping into petty cash drawers and wife's pocketbook. Weak-kneed willpower, fast feet for staying one jump ahead of creditors, and desire to escape down-to-earth realities. You have the develop. I mean, that illustration is so cool. It's beautiful. Life insurance. Well, life insurance, when a person buys life insurance, he's really betting that he's going to die. The insurance company is really giving him odds that he won't. It is interesting to note that policyholder wins if he loses and loses if he wins. Here you have the stock market. Stock buyers hope stocks will go up, so they'll win. If stocks go down, they'll lose. Biggest gamble is in knowing nothing about guys who run companies they buy stock in, and even less about guys who talk to them into buying it. Then we have pari-mutuel racing. The hell is that? I'm not going to read about it. Gambling, destroying families. And this article is so fun. It is so dense, but it's absolutely lovely. So I hope you're hitting pause to like really read this. I just don't have the time to go through it all. I loved this though, right here. Mad reveals secrets of detecting crooked gambling equipment. Marked cards, normal card. Clever gamblers are adept at marking cards in ways in which only a trained eye can detect his subtle work. Note how legitimate. I started reading this one and then I jumped down to there when I looked down on the page. Trained eye can detect, but they're not too clever to fool us. Note how a normal card at left has perfect even teeth in bordered design. Now look at the same corner in a marked card. 3 teeth are 1/100 of an inch shorter than the rest. Obviously, this means it's a 3 of some kind. I enjoyed that. This one too, because this is, I don't understand really. I had a great uncle who was a prolific, he was prolific at loading dice, and I don't really understand how he did it. Again, the gambler's ingenuity is applied, and again, our sharp eyes detect his subtle work. Note how legitimate dice at left have a perfectly square corner, while those doctored dice at right have tiny, tiny beveled corners, enough to control roll. Shrewd mad fans can easily see how gambler can throw winning 7 almost every time. Certainly, why wouldn't that be the case? Anyway, I'm gonna zoom out, and we're gonna keep on moving because, like I said, there's just so much to get through. Okay, famous test papers. This is pretty funny. It's funny because, well, first off, it's very well written, and whoever wrote this, who was it? Arnie Kogan. Arnie Kogan did a great job of imitating different writing styles. Especially, I thought these two, Nixon and JFK. Nixon, Nixon is like the mascot of this channel. I don't know if you guys know that. Who is Henry Hudson? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked it. We as Americans should appreciate being given the opportunity to answer such a question. The subject of Henry Hudson has always been important to me. Why, just the other day, as I was delivering orders after school in order to support myself and help out my family, I asked myself that very question. I often think about Hudson while delivering orders. I have to think about him while I work because I have no time to study about him at home like other students. Americans must never forget the contributions Hudson made. In many ways, he served as a model for us because he struggled to meet obstacles, like having to work after school to make ends meet, and not having time to study for final exams like more fortunate students. This is the very spirit of America because Hudson struggled as we are struggling and overcame these obstacles as we, with a little help, will overcome ours. Anyway, I was amused by that. Now, this is great. Mark Twain once said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. Well, Mark Twain was wrong. People are doing things about the weather every day, namely ridiculous things. Witness the following examples in this next article, which explores rain. Now, this is like two things kind of combined. I talk about it every time with, like in the 60s or 70s, with a mad look at. A mad look at that's Sergio Aragones, right? That's what we all think. And we all agree on, really, because Uh, he owns it. But before he owned it, other artists would do a mad look at things that were very similar, no words, um, just pantomime, I guess, or whatever you would call it. So this is a little bit of that, like an early mad look at, but it's also a little like it's an early version of a mad, not a mad look at, the lighter side of. So we have like this kind of theme, and we get a little bit of the Dave Berg's ironic sense of humor. Um, and it's great because we also are getting Dave Berg's best artwork. His best artwork by far was in the 60s. Here we have rain. Look at it. Plastic raincoats come in a convenient pack, neatly folds away. Look at that. Well, what kind of bozo doesn't have a raincoat? I mean, look at, oh, I loved this. He would always do these like frenetic lines when people were struggling or like getting pissed off. Oh, so good. Those Indian rainmakers have nothing on me. I can make it rain anytime I want to. Yeah, did you make this rain? I sure did. How? Well, this morning I watered the lawn, washed the car, and put on my new suit, and forgot to take out an umbrella. It works every time. Look, it's beginning to rain. I love it when it rains. I love to hear the pitter-patter of the raindrops on the roof and see it running in little rivulets down the window panes. And what's the matter? Don't you love it when it rains? I hate it when it rains. It means the kids will be playing in the house all day. True. Here, this is the last one I'll show. So great. Stomping around in the mud and the puddles. He gets home, puts on all of his galoshes, his rain slicker. Good, I was worried that you didn't have sense enough to put on your raincoat and boots. There you go. And it goes on and on. It's really remarkable. This is a very fun one. Um, Milton, there's someone at the front door and I'm not dressed. Answer it. I can't. I'm in the shower. But I left my robe in the bathroom there with you. So put on your raincoat. Transparent raincoat. Anyway, it's just perfect. Now, this Spy versus Spy, I absolutely love. When this is early on, so they give the fun introduction about Sergio Aragones. When, yeah, no, Antonio Prohías. Boy, I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. When Fidel, the man with the sword, ordered Antonio Prohías, the man with, and it says it right there, the man with the pen, arrested for his anti-Castro cartoons, the Cuban artist fled to the U.S., where he now graces Mad's pages with Spy versus Spy. The thing that I love about this is this is like one of the most innocent Spy versus Spies ever. Nobody's like really getting murdered. It's just sheer embarrassment. So look at he sets that. He does the sextant out, marking an X, measuring the moon, putting a bucket. White Spy walks and he just boots his ass right into the bucket. Probably that might be one of my favorite ones. Here we have a mad guide to Russia, also known as the USSR, undermining, sabotaging, and saber rattling. This I'm just going to blast through this. You know, it's reading. You don't want to hear me read. I don't like to read. And plus, we're just halfway through. Ah, there's so much more. Don Martin and Sherwood Forest. This is so much. This is great. I wish he would have done more of this stuff. Like he did that one where it was like all about the surfer, and it was done. I think what's his face? They call him the Mad Poet Laureate. Frank Jacobs did this the poem about the surfer, and it's like Don Martin illustrated it, and it was just so much fun. I think he does a really, really great job with themed things like that. So like this, the themed Robin Hood stuff, it's just great. And you have this great border where it looks like an old book with the pages. Did he write it too? Should look on Cracked Cover site. Yeah, he wrote it too. just really fantastic. Or I wonder if Duck Edwing did. Yeah, I don't. This is awesome. This is so brilliant. So very brilliant. Celebrities' wallets. This is something that Mad loved doing at the time. You would have, the celebrities' wallet of like Liberace, celebrity wallet of, you know, who is that broad who was in, what was it called? Um, I can't think. She's a singer. What the hell? Why can't I think of anything? Anyway, so you would have this where it's like receipts or coupons or doctor's notes or all sorts of things, and of course photos. And this is Frank Sinatra, his wallet, Old Blue Eyes as they call him. This is one that I absolutely wanted to get to, and it just made me think: what would be future physical afflictions that we would have to contend with? I think there are ones, right? Like from people looking down at their cell phones all the time. Like it's like there's sort of posture ones. But these are so great. And Bob Clark doing the artwork for these. Uh, some of them are like almost universal. Others, you get a glimpse as to what was super popular at the time. Like Boulder's droopitis. Now, itis does mean like a swelling, so that's not really the right one. So, just from throwing the bowling ball, having your arm extended out. Cyclops eye-itis, persistent viewing of one television channel can lead to this condition caused by excessive identification with that channel. This situation can be easily rectified by channel switching or, in the case of more authoritarian families, shutting the darn set off altogether. Ubangi digititis. I guess from putting coins in the meters. Student's neck. The condition arises in students assigned to do book reports who, quite naturally, search library shelves for the thinnest books possible. And we have happy pill-itis. Yeah, down in the comments, why don't you leave, what are some future physical afflictions that we are going to have? It goes on. I mean, it's so sick. Like, you also see highball lip from ice cubes hitting your upper lip, and scar tissue develops. Underarm wildlife. Ooh, the Miami squint. Overexposure to an excessive amount of platinum blondes reflecting brilliant sunlight at winter resorts can lead to this rare disease, a form of tropical snow blindness. Enlarged denture breadth. Stuffed dermatitis. I mean, like these illustrations are just fantastic. This face, though, that looks like it looks like Bob Clark was doing a Jack Davis impression. Here we have birth of a brand name. This is fine. It's like the same gag every time, right? They're trying to come up with a thing. Look at, there's Mr. Clean washing the window. What happened? Where did he go? They opened the window, knocked him off. When I opened the window, I knocked him off the ledge. He's falling straight down. Boy, look at him travel, just like by George Smedley. That's it. Comet cleanser, because he was a cleanser that knocked it off and fell like a comet. It's fine. This is fine. The illustrations are great. I had to get to this though. Dream Girls. By Jack Rickard. Jack Rickard being in the running for the artist who draws the best babes. All right, so you guys know he's in the top 5. Highly contested race right now, but look at him go. These are fun, just little, no words, just. I like the mummy one. Just good old fashioned. Visual humor, and it's great. Here we have some that maybe wouldn't fly in modern times, but Frimpkin Brothers Complaint Department. Oh, I don't know. Jack Rickard and Don Riley, you guys outdid yourselves on that one. Here we have our second Spy versus Spy. Oh, look, here's a pile of food. Oh no, it's probably poisoned. feeds it to a dog. There's a remote control dog, and the black spy dies. You see what I'm saying, though? Like, that was death. The other one, the innocence, really plays through because he just got a wet head. Here is some Elvis Presley movie that I'm not going to go over. I'm sorry, because we're at 25 minutes, and I got to look at this. The Big Bad Wall. USA Top Secret. Achtung, verboten. Die wilden Tier zu füttern. I'm so, like, it's so crazy to me. I was born in 1985. When did the Berlin Wall fall? Like, early 80s? 86? I don't know. That's not early. Obviously, that's mid. But it's so crazy to me to imagine that Germany was divided in half. That's crazy. Anyway, the big bad wolf comes and blows it down. And then we have some commie thing that I'm not going to talk about. Well, you guys, thank you. Wait, this is it. This is Mad number 71. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure enjoyed reading through it. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. It really does help. Toodaloo.